Alrighty, PG-13. We are going to talk about some G.I. Joe tanks. And well, Cobra also had not as many until they go into the 2000s, and I think there's way more after, but one of my all-time favorites was the Persuader. Now, there's the advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are that it had missiles. It has a somewhat spring suspension, so the wheels pretty much go over everything. You know, could they have made it a little wider? Yes, they could have, because then it would give the vehicle more stability if it's like driving around a corner, so it won't roll over. Now, I love the fact that it was more futuristic. I love the fact that, you know, this is an awesome laser cannon and another one underneath. You know, that brings like, similar to like Aliens almost. Even how the figure backstop was made. I don't have his handgun, but you know, like, just look at his futuristic mask. It does remind you more of like Aliens in space. So this was a pretty cool driver. So I did really like this driver. And well, but the vehicle itself, you know, you could fit 6 plus 2 is 8. So you could take 8 figures into battle. They're holding on to the foot pegs. Plus it had the missiles. The missiles are a huge advantage for a tank. So, you know, you're getting attacked by Cobra from the air. You could fire missiles. One of the bad points of this tank, though, is that this can snap off because it has little tabs. So there's a poor design for this part. Hasbro should have designed that better. But another cool thing is you could fit larger figures in here, no problem. So you got the Sarge manning the turret. Plus you also had tow hooks, so you could, you know, have your tow behinds. Oh yes, one other thing I forgot to mention. The APC, you know, if that top part turned into like a medical tent, that would have been cool, or a military tent. You know, there could have been way more designs for other things, but anyways, hope Super7 takes notice of some of these videos and uses some of those cool ideas. You know, and anyone from the UK that's watching, if you could post, you know, copy and paste some links of sites that we can get action force vehicles from, like collectible stores. If you could post some of those sites in the links below, you know, it would help people find cheap vehicles. That would be awesome, because I already told you where I get my most of my vehicles from. So hopefully that helps other people as well. But anyways, another vehicle that was awesome was the Equalizer. I did not own this as a kid. It's too bad, because I love camouflage vehicles. Now the Equalizer has a big advantage over the Mauler, because the Mauler, no batteries, it just sits there dead. Unless you have a smooth surface you can put it on. I've said this many times. They should have included a neutral switch so you could just roll your tank along. But Hasbro doesn't listen. I don't think they care. So hopefully Super7, Brian Flynn cares. And, you know. But anyways, one of the bad points on these Equalizers is the same, you know, as the Mauler. The skirt, there's like a tab that always breaks off on one side or another. So for the skirt, you know, was this necessary to put on the vehicle? No. They could have just designed it better. And they should have also had another Equalizer tank with a turret, because they put that turret on the links. And now, you know, someone said they lost the mold. It doesn't even matter anymore in the modern age. You don't have to have a mold. You could easily 3D scan everything into a computer, and then you could easily retool it for how you want and make it for exactly how you want. It might be even easier to do. Just ask Action Robot Punch. He makes all sorts of cool vehicles. I mean, I love that guy's videos. He even made the tow hook for the Wolverine. So you can convert your Wolverine into a towing vehicle. That is fantastic. Now, one of the cool things on this vehicle is, same with the Mauler, they had a little weapon storage compartment. But, you know, it wasn't big enough, because you could only put like small handguns in there. Or maybe a knife. Oh, we're having a malfunction. Now, you could fix this. You could just glue something on here and paint it, so it's not too bad. Just like when I had extra skirts for my Muller, I just painted them and put them on another one. So, I mean, and they're not even camoed. Kind of takes away from the Equalizer. Well, I didn't own this as a kid, so it would have been obviously a lot of fun. And this does have a ratcheting thing as well, so the ratcheting stuff does wear out over time. But this is freaking cool, you know. You could pretend this is a laser, or even turn it around and pretend that part's the laser. Oh, we're having malfunctions already. So you could pretend this is a modern laser. But it does have a radar on the back as well. Weapons targeting system. And it also had, you know, these smoke grenades, so this was a cool vehicle. Engine covers. There is no place to store weapons though in the 1987 Persuader, which it could have easily done at the back. So now another drawback of some of these tanks, like when they redesigned or remade the where is that tank? When they redesigned this tank, they left out a tow hitch. I mean, a Mobat without a tow hitch, and there's no neutral switch. So again, you know, that just ruins the tank because there's just nothing, no no neutral switch. So it basically, without batteries, you can't use it. So Hasbro clearly, obviously didn't care as much. It seems like they've rushed stuff, or didn't think it through fully maybe. How would this work without the batteries? You know? But hopefully Brian at Super7 gets it. Now, I did love some of these smaller tanks, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Because, like, you could easily airlift the Armadillo. 1985 Armadillo. And it even has a stamp on it. Plus, now the Armadillo could have had missiles. Other ones later on had something you could attach from the sides. So, just those crappy push button missiles. Spring loaded. But this, you know, the Pulverizer, this had a fantastic laser gun. Now it does clip from the sides, so it is hard to get open. We're having more technical difficulties. Now, how did we get this open as a kid? It's like super hard. Anyways, I'm not going to get it open. I got it open earlier to try it. So this does raise up. And that's another thing that they should have done for the Havoc, was have something similar to this where you can raise it up and, you know, then it could obviously fire at vehicles that are behind it. This one does a full, you know, 360. So you can easily fire at your enemy or whatever position they're in. And it even points way up, so it's got way better maneuvering. And this would have been better if like a type of laser cannon was put on the Persuader. This that might even work. You could rig something up. But it is kind of neat. I mean, I love this. I had 2 of these as a kid, and these Battle Force tanks were awesome. Was it 89, I think, or 88? Anyways, 89, I believe. And there is, no, it's 88 on here. So, yeah, 89 or 88, whenever they came out. And it also had a tow hook, so you could tow behind a lot of vehicles, or tow behind vehicles, tow behind your artillery pieces, you know, your missile launchers or mobile missile system. And there was quite a few tow behinds there. They should have made more. I mean, not like the Toad. That's just crabby. Or the box that they have, the Coastal Defender. You got a box. What's in the box? You're so stupid. Now, Larry Hama, maybe I'm going to try to get a hold of him or leave some messages on somebody's site there. Let's see if he could do a museum type thing in one of the comics. Then they could bring in some World War II tanks, and you know, even a Huey. Doc needs a Huey. You know, that's one of my things that I've always said. Larry Hama was in M.A.S.H, so maybe he could do an episode in the comics similar to M.A.S.H. You can bring in some cool vehicles for that. But anyways, I'm sure they tell him a little bit of what they want, but Larry Hama just writes it page by page, which is just pretty much how I do videos, just on the spot without anything written. We don't have notes here. The odd time you might have to look up the year, but for the most part, you get it because you have a passion for Joes and you love this. Now, Cobra tanks, they didn't have as many, which, you know, I thought, why wouldn't they make tanks every year and they would, you know, have a balance? This tank will counter that tank. You know, that's usually how weapons work. One side builds this, well, the other side's going to build that to counter it. So, anyways, I hope you do enjoy the videos, and I do love making videos. And I wish that, you know, they actually included some, oh, there goes this mic. I wish they included some type of missile system for the Mauler, but back in the 80s, I guess they weren't really thinking about it as much. I should glue that in. Oh yes, you can get these mics at maraudersinc.com. That's maraudersinc.com. Way cheaper than eBay. They're like a couple dollars. So anyways, I know that there's a lot of people that their favorite tank was the Equalizer. Some are the Mauler. You know, everyone's got different favorites. But what is your top picks? What tanks do you love the most? And I could see why people love the Equalizer, because you could fit more figures in there, and it's got missiles, it's got a cannon, it's got dual cannons, and radar as well as smoke grenades, plus these little stoppers. Action Robot Punch, he makes all sorts of different things that you could put in on your vehicle. You know, he's made something like a tripod for this to sit on, a minesweeper you can click in here. You know, just talk to him. He also made that Wolverine tow thing that I mentioned before. So, Wolverine tow kit. You could convert your Wolverine into a towing vehicle. And, it would have been nice if G.I. Joe would have expanded more things, but a lot of things seem really rushed. So with a modern 3D scanner, you could probably scan your parts and have a lot more fun. Just ask Action Robot Punch. You know, the guy makes incredible stuff. Anyways, I hope you enjoy watching the videos, and I do love making videos and comparing different things, and you know, we will look at the Cobra tanks next because there is quite a few, but I would just love to talk about what my favorites were. And these these two little tanks were a lot of fun, and the Persuader was a lot of fun as well. Whereas my my other tanks that had treads, they just sat there and did nothing. The M.A.S.H just sat there. A couple of